Do you have a better idea?
Tell your parents the truth that you're married and that you live with your husband.
I'm tired of being humble. I'm tired of letting people think they got a chance. The tribal chief is head and shoulders above everybody.
Hey guys, we're here at the locker room. This is Summer Rae scandal. We'll talk about Eva Marie files for divorce from husband. Guys, get the likes as you come to the locker room. We have to air some dirty laundry on this one. Now, this is from TMZ Sports. They report that Eva Marie filed for divorce back in December from her husband, Jonathan Coyle. The filing reveals it was not a sudden decision. The two had separated back in October of last year with irreconcilable differences listed for the reason for the split. Neither Eva or Jonathan talked about it. Now, fans that followed Eva Marie back in the day with Total Divas, they're familiar with Jonathan Coyle, who was on the show through season 1 through season 6. Now, they met through a CrossFit workout. They rode for several months, actually 5 weeks to be exact, before being engaged in 2013. They will elope in October and then had a ceremony that was attended by many of the Total Divas stars like Summer Rae, Cameron, Layla, L, and Brie and Nikki Bella. Now, Eva Marie, we know she had 2 runs with WWE. Neither one of them worked out, but she's more likely branched off into having her own business, acting, and doing many other things. Now, I know these two here, they did an interview on Eva Marie's channel. They had pretty much a story time of how the couple met, how they met each other, what they was going through before they met each other, the struggles and everything. They talk more about it, guys. We're going to hear more about it, and we're going to see what or what did not were the key factors of what worked in their relationship, what did not work to their relationship, what will lead to this divorce. So let's dive into that right now.
Story of how we met.
That is a story for the ages. I saw her page. I liked Instagram page. And this is before DMs, all of it. I saw it somehow. Thought she was very, very, very beautiful, of course. But at the time, I was single. So beautiful girls in Orange County were everywhere.
Single and broke. Let's not leave that out.
Back to the story that we were talking before you were so rudely interrupted.
Sorry.
So gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous girl. But what stood out was I saw she had posted her at church. If I see a girl is going to church, automatically I'm like very interested. Then she was posting a book. It was about the 5 languages of love.
5 love languages.
Which now is a super trendy book. Like everyone knows about, oh, what's your love language? But 10 years ago, that was like the cutting edge stuff. And I had actually just read that book and thought it was really, really cool that not only is this girl going to church, but she's also reading to like better herself. And then obviously I saw that she worked out.
At that time, because I believe I just started Instagram, I didn't have really any like crazy
You had no
thirst
following.
traps.
You had no following and no thirst traps. It deleted. My email to her, 12713.
That's 10 years ago.
If it's easier for you and you aren't a serial murderer using some pretty girl's pictures, you can text me. I give my phone number. That's it. Then, pretty soon, like the same day basically, my phone got wiped. I got your text literally as my phone crashed. So I pretty much blame you for me losing every single one of my contacts. Ha ha ha. Please send me your number again and we can figure out a date to CrossFit it up. Natalie's response to my phone getting wiped. Hold on, where is it?
Basically, guys, I just saw some chick email bringing back old memories. I was trying to fucking be crazy and holler at my man when she showed me.
Natalie responds with, oh my God, are you serious? What happened? Ha ha ha. I'm so sorry. My number is...
Wait a minute. For everybody, for you guys, take note. What you send via text or email lives literally forever. This is a decade ago. Do you want to go with telling the story?
Our first time meeting was probably one of the most embarrassing things for me that's ever happened in my entire life. I have always been very, very good with women. I've grown up around them, had a lot of friends that were women. I love women and get along with them very, very well. However, the irony is the first time I met my wife, I literally came across as, I would say, an autistic serial killer. Would be my first impression.
Yeah, I was very much. So I tell Jonathan I'm going to go in and take my first class. and he is like, oh, and he was working on a game launch.
Diablo.
So, at that time at Blizzard, like that's when their guys are working like overtime like crazy.
Diablo 3 was launching in like 8 days. I'm talking, we were living at Blizzard. It was a big deal.
So he finds out that I'm taking like a 7 p.m. class, and he ends up all of a sudden texting me, and he's like, oh, hey, you know
we got off, don't even worry, you know, we got off early.
Yeah.
I think maybe I'll come and swing by like trying to play it cool. Like, first of all, I was managing a team, so I had to like pretend that I was sick, get someone to cover for me so I could come out and meet this girl.
So I walk into OCCF, and
Orange Coast CrossFit.
I could see, you know when you walk in somewhere and you can see the person already like out of the corner of your eye, but I see him like going up for a muscle up, and like basically you didn't fall, but
no, what happened is I'm doing like that is my spot. I'm killing it. My friends are there, my buddy Ryan. Like this is my spot she's in. I'm doing muscle ups, and then I glance, I see her walk in, and it's like one of those, you know those movies where everything just goes like slow motion, like, and I literally almost knocked my front teeth out doing a muscle up.
And I saw this, but I did one of those things where like I didn't want him to see that I saw, so I just kind of like...
And then I see that she is now embarrassed for me, right? So I've made such a fool of myself that she is being polite, kind-hearted, and not letting me see that she saw it to try to like lessen my embarrassment.
Yeah.
And you would think that would be okay, an embarrassing situation. Everything smooths out from there. Oh no, it gets worse, much, much worse.
Yeah, I continued. His conversation walking me to my class was like...
I was like, I met her. It's so bad. Like, I saw her, I'm like, hi. And she's like, hello. It's good that you signed up for class.
It was so weird.
And I'm, you know, I mean, I'm sure some of you guys have had this experience where you're blowing it and you know you're blowing it and you're literally like yelling at yourself in your head being like, what is wrong with you? Get it together and speak English, you nutcase.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. So I go to my class, he ends up going to his, I'm like fall in love with it. I remember like killing it in my class.
So now my class ends, right? And her class has like 8 minutes left, and it's in a different part of like the gym. So I'm like, okay, I'm thinking that everything is like timed where she's gonna be wrapping up in the next 30 seconds. So I'll walk over. While she's done, I'll give her like a water bottle. We'll talk about the workout. Things will be normal. I get over there. First of all, it's like 4 people. Mm-hmm. They're all dying. She's killing it. And there's no one else around me. Everyone else is left. So now I'm standing there just looking, like watching them just work out. And so I'm like, oh my God, this is so weird. I'm going to like come over to stare at her working out for the next like 5 minutes. So then I'm pretending like I don't have my cell phone. So now I'm pretending like I'm
He's just like looking down,
busying myself like maybe my shoes are interesting, or oh, this wall over here, man, could you? It was so embarrassing that as I'm doing it, I'm like, oh my God, dude, she's going to quite literally call the police on you. Like,
I didn't think it was that weird. I didn't mind because I thought it was kind of like funny and cute because I could tell that he was trying
super
not
nervous
to stare.
and super nervous. She had me so nervous it was ridiculous.
He just continued to be weird and awkward on the way as soon as it was over, and then walked me to my car, super odd, and I was like, okay, bye.
And I walked her to her car, and in my head I'm like, dude, you are blowing it, you're blowing it. She got in the car and drove away, and I was like, you are never gonna see this girl again. So I just like, I'm like, get it together. Got the phone, called her immediately. I was like, you know what? We've both had a pretty like serious workout. You have a long drive. Let's go grab, there's like a little organic juice bar. Let's at least get some juice, get some good sugars in us, some good carbs. That way we can kind of like, you know, mellow out and you can drive back. I don't want you getting like, you know, jittery on the road because sometimes the CrossFit workout can hit you later. And she's like, cool. We went to Mother's Market, sat at the juice bar, started talking. That juice did wonders for me. It was like Popeye with his spinach.
Yeah.
I became me again, and then that was a wrap.
Yep.
Then we were never not together after that.
Yeah, and that was it. And then I left, went back to LA. He sent me a text and just said, just so you know, I'm gonna mess up your social life, and you're gonna marry me. And I was like, psycho. And
Yeah. And 5 weeks later, she got engaged.
First date, I remember going to Jonathan's place and not knowing what to expect because this is like now like a real date, not just
Let me
grabbing,
cook you dinner.
Yeah, not just grabbing a juice. I didn't know at the time that he was cooking me dinner because he couldn't afford to take me out to dinner.
It was a big problem. I was like, well, I want to take her out on a date, but I'm like broke as a joke. So I'll make her like I'll cook her a bomb dinner.
But what he didn't know is that my love language is food.
So that actually worked out real well.
So him cooking me, I mean, to this day I get excited if he makes me something to eat.
And I am a really good cook. I'm not going to lie about that.
Yeah, he is. He is really
I'm like
good.
a really, really good cook.
So our first date, I remember just being like super nervous and not knowing what to really expect.
Well, I remember too. So I was obviously trying to like figure out what to cook. I know she's health conscious and the whole deal. So like, and I don't drink, and I didn't know that she was an alcoholic and didn't drink either. So I remember getting like salmon and like asparagus and like really like good pairings for that. And then being like, shit, like I guess grown-ups drink wine with dinner. So like what wine, and asking the person at it was probably Costco, to be honest.
Yeah. What's
a good white wine? And then, you know, pouring some for her, pouring some for me. And I was like, oh, here, would you like some wine? And she's like, no, thank you. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. She doesn't drink either. That's like dope, because I didn't want to drink this wine either. I was trying to be polite.
Yeah.
And then, okay, so that was dinner. Dinner was great. And then I'm like, you know what? Let's binge watch like Spartacus, because that was like kind of out at the time. And I'm like, this seems like a cool thing to like watch with someone you're just going on a date with. And she had never had Ben & Jerry's. So I bought like 6 pints of Ben & Jerry's, fish food, Cherries Garcia.
Fish food is the shit.
And she had never had Ben & Jerry's before. So I was like, oh dude, I'm already like, she's gonna love this. And then I throw Spartacus on. And like, when you're watching Spartacus as a guy by yourself single, it's like, wow, this is like super violent and sexual, but like, you're a guy, so it just kind of goes over your head. When you're watching it with a girl who you're on a first date with, you're like, oh no, what did I just put on? She's gonna think I'm some kind of like total like crazy person. It's like violent pornography would probably be the best way to describe it. And I'm like, this is what I picked to put on for the first thing we watched together on the couch.
I don't remember, how did we end? Because I know that I did not spend the night for like a long time.
No, you were super, so that's one thing I will say about that. Like, she was very, very, very different than girls I had dated previously.
And even when I did spend the night, nothing happened.
Yeah, no, she definitely did not have sex with me. And I remember even the first time, I mean, we had hung out maybe like 4 or 5 times. And I remember I like went in to kiss her and she was like, what are you doing? Like, it wasn't like oh no, like some nonsense like that. It was really like, she was like, yo, yeah, I was like, we've hung out like 5 times. Like, what do you think you're even trying to do? So that was very attractive as well, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. I don't remember how we left that first date, but I know that I went back.
Well, you came back for more food. You're like, this is where I don't gotta go out to eat anymore. This is great. And I remember at one time she spent the night, and I made her like banana pancakes at like 2:30 in the morning. And
I had like 20.
Dude, I literally couldn't even believe. I wish that I had like a camera. I did a Bisquick box, thinking like, oh, I'll have a bunch of batter for the morning. My roommate will have it for like the next week. This broad ate quite literally a box of Bisquick and a dozen bananas. So she ate a box of Bisquick and a dozen bananas and a half a jar of like the all natural maple syrup.
He's the one.
I was like, I've never seen a woman put away food like this in my life.
They were excellent. They were very good. So that's kind of where it started, in the sense of our first date, and then it never really like looked back.
It never ended. After that, we just were together, always. Mm-hmm. We've never been apart.
When I first met Jonathan, I was working totally kind of like that typical LA lifestyle that you hear all the time. So I was doing nightlife, bottle service girl, because obviously I wanted to do my auditions and work during the day. So that's kind of like where we were, in the sense that Jonathan was trying to build up into corporate world, into Blizzard. He has his MBA. And I was just doing the see where life could take me, because I had just gotten a call back from WWE, and I told him about my WWE. He said, is this something you really want to do? I said yes, and he said, if you weren't seeing me and you did get this job, would you move to Florida? Because at the time their developmental center was in Tampa. And I said yes, and then he said, all right, we're all in. So I just went in on an open audition. Like I've said a million times in anything, if you guys have heard this story before, I apologize, but for anybody brand new, it's one of those things, God put me in the right place at the right time. When I walked out of that audition, I was just like, I motherfucking nailed this. So from there, Jonathan and I had been dating maybe like 5-6 weeks.
Yeah.
I call him, tell him like I just killed this, and if I do get it, like my life's about to change within 48, 72 hours. We hop in a car because we're both from Northern California. We got like some clothes. We stopped at AM PM and got like
coffees,
those
those big, like these coffees. Yeah.
And then drove to the Bay Area to see my parents because Jonathan, not only did he meet my parents for the first time, but he also asked my dad for my hand in marriage. That's where
First time I ever met him.
My family really loved Jonathan, and my mom is the La Jefa, so she already knew everything about Jonathan before we even got to the house, so I had set the table well. So not only did Jonathan meet my family for the
If
first
you
time,
want to win over the Nelson household, win over Josie.
that's where I do believe, like God puts you in the right place at the right time, but you have to be willing to go with it. You have to realize your opportunities and don't be scared. I had just gotten out of rehab, so I never told the truth. Because obviously when you meet somebody for the first time, saying, hi, nice to meet you, I'm really cool, but I just got out of rehab, immediately it's like, head case, mess, red flag, run. Or at least that's what I would think. We had gone out to Vegas for his best friend's bachelorette party, and I had been maybe out of rehab like 3 weeks or something like that, and I relapsed in front of him, which at the time, I thought it was like the end of my life. But it was the best thing that could have happened because that's where like the jig was up in the sense of Jonathan said, if you want this to work out.
Hey, that was Eva Marie and Jonathan Coyle talking about how they met and how their relationship began. It seemed like in some points in the interview, Eva Marie, she wouldn't let Jonathan talk. She cut him off a lot, and I could tell he was a little irritated with that. Also, Eva Marie, the big thing was the issue with her. She was a recovering alcoholic, only been sober for a few weeks, and Jonathan was getting himself together. I think Jonathan had himself together. He was in the right direction, but Eva Marie wasn't, and I think this relationship went on too fast, only to be engaged for 5 weeks before getting married. These two really did not know each other well before getting married, so I can understand why these two went down the path that they did. They moved way too fast. She was already at his house and going to a bachelor party. I thought that was very sudden for those two when they started their relationship. So I believe that will add factors to the divorce. So hopefully those two, they get themselves together individually and they find the person that they're looking for. Other than that, that's all I have regarding Eva Marie files for divorce. You guys let me know, what do you think of what you hear based off the story time between Eva Marie and John. You guys click the links below to the video. Check out the content. You already know what it is. It is OUT.